A short hike is a game about a short hike. Okay, let's start over. A short hike is a game about hiking up a very tall mountain. You play as Claire, a bird that is visiting her Aunt May. No, the other Aunt May. No, the other Aunt May. Perfect. The game opens with a very bare-bones atmosphere. As Claire, you're riding in a car with your mom as she drops you off on a ferry to go to Hawk Peak Park for the entire summer. Claire is certainly less enthused to be on this ferry, being away from her mom for the whole summer. The first moments of gameplay are you just walking around the environment, leaves crunching, water ebbing in and out from the shoreline. Claire just wants to get some cell phone reception to talk to somebody, and isn't really interested in exploring the rest of the park like her aunt wishes. She asks her Aunt May where there is cell phone reception, and she says that the only spot in the entire park is at the very top of the mountain. Honestly, she must have AT&T because there is no way that her cell reception is that bad with any other carrier.
That's right, all my homies hate AT&T. Verizon gang, rise up!
So Aunt May lays out your quest. And your quest is to get to the top of this big-ass mountain to get some cell phone reception. It ends up being a long journey, but it's a small price to pay for some goddamn internet connection. It's after this initial conversation that you're introduced to the world of Hawk Peak Park. It's a circular island world that you're able to navigate pretty easily by moving your character around. You're able to jump, glide, and climb your way around the island, and you're able to extend these abilities by collecting or purchasing golden feathers that are around the overworld. While the gameplay isn't super complicated, the real gem of a short hike lies in the wandering around that you do around the environment. The entire game you're just wandering around this very vibrant circular environment, talking to each of these characters that you see, trying to see what they're about, maybe trying to pick up a couple quests along the way. For example, you meet this painter that's trying to capture the landscape of Hawk Peak from all these different angles. You meet this ragtag duo of climbers that's trying to bring national attention to their climbing club. And then you also meet a bunch of other wacky folks just living life in the park. But through all the interactions that Claire has with the NPCs in this game, Claire just seems distracted and not interested in talking to them. But we don't really know why. They just seem very short-lived, and she seems just disinterested, like her mind is occupied by something else. She even says that she's been caught up in her head all morning to another person. So we just assume that it's something related to her needing cell phone reception that badly. The funny thing is, you're also not the only character in this game who's lost in their own head. Every side character in the game that you interact with is just kind of lost in their own world as well, either worried or just preoccupied intensely with what they're doing next. Like the climbing club, the runners, this guy over here that's camping illegally. Believe it or not, all of these characters are experiencing anxiety in some way, and all for different reasons. The runner, for example, wants to win his race, but he's worried that he doesn't have his lucky headband. The painter wants to feel like they belong in the art world amongst giants of other art forms. And even the climbing club kids want to feel like they're a part of something bigger, and they want to be recognized for their talents. Every interaction that Claire has with these characters is a further look inside her own mind, trying to peel back the layers behind her own anxiety. She helps find the marathon runners' new, more lucky headband, and she helps the artist realize that their work is beautiful and belongs with the greats like Picasso, Van Gogh, and the Bored Ape Yacht Club. And it's not just Claire teaching the characters. As you make your way to the other side of the island, you see these two little fucking kids with their about 3 brain cells between the two of them playing a game called Beach Skitball, where you just whack a beach ball with a stick over a volleyball net. It's a genius game idea. Claire has no idea what this game is for, but oddly she's having a good time. The beach skitball players illuminate Claire as to what playing a game truly for fun means without any competitive pressure behind it. A little while later, you also encounter this fishing guy who basically just tells Claire to sit still for a really long time, and she's clearly frustrated with doing this. And it's very obvious that the fishing guy is teaching her patience. Again, that's when you know when you've made a great video game, is if it has a fishing minigame, because any game with a fishing minigame is automatically a 10 out of 10. Do not argue with me. That is my rating system. A Short Hike is about Claire's journey with all of these wacky side characters, and it shows you that compassion and genuine interest in others goes a long way. More than that, it reinforces this message through gameplay, because while you do have the option to buy golden feathers from the ranger and collect ones scattered around the overworld, you can also get feathers from talking to NPCs in the game. And while I might be reading too far into this, collecting coins in the overworld is extremely time consuming, but it's way easier with additional fetch quests with other NPCs like swapping the shovel with the sandcastle builder, fishing with the guy, and others. Because when you finally get to the very final ascent of Hawk Peak, it's a brutal climb. The once lush, verdant park is now a snowy hellscape, and your golden feathers that regenerated once you hit the ground below don't do that anymore. It makes it even worse that the guy at the start of this ascent is starting to upcharge you a fuck ton for these golden feathers. It's okay because he reveals to us later that he's just trying to get some extra cash for tuition for his school. I don't blame him for that. There's a path to get up to the top of the peak, but it's also much harder to get up there when you don't have more than 8 or so gold feathers. But again, the game is reinforcing this message through gameplay. Because while you can struggle and try to platform your way up to the top of this mountain, if you put in the time to talk to these NPCs and get the extra golden feathers, climbing up to the top of Hawk Peak is that much easier. Again, I might be reading too far into this because obviously that's how modern game design works. You do fetch quests and you do stuff around the world to talk to NPCs and then to progress your way further into the game. But I think it matters a lot more with this game because it's very character-centric and it's very about Claire coming out of her shell and trying to get her way to the top of this mountain by becoming more social and becoming more interested in the world. And finally, you get to the top of the mountain. It's been a very long journey, but Claire is finally here. And what's that? It's Claire's mom. All of the anxiety comes to a head here. Claire finally gets to speak to her mom, and it's revealed that she's had a pretty big surgery. Claire, unbeknownst to us, was worried about this the entire time, but now she knows that her mother is okay. You can practically feel the anxiousness and the nerves melting off of her. And again, in a triumphant final example, her character design is shown through gameplay. Because now that you've made it to the top of the mountain, your mom suggests that you ride the famous Hawk Peak updraft. You step up to the edge, and then you glide.
Hello. We're out of the post-commentary section of the video now, and now we're into the, seeing my ugly mug. Don't know why I put this in, but it's been an interesting year, for sure. I'm now, like, more than 1 year post-graduating from college, and I think one of the main things I learned is that I still don't know what I want to do with my life at all. I have no idea. Not like no idea. I have inklings, but I just have a bit of a scatterbrained attitude about the whole thing and don't really want to go for any specific thing. I also learned that I have a tiny bit of mental illness, much like Claire in the game. I also have a little bit of anxiety. And besides that, like, the rest of the year hasn't been the best either, between like a minor health scare and like moving to a new city and just like being on my own for the first time in like a while. I mean, not fully on my own, but you get what I'm saying. Like, as a real adult, it's scary. There's a lot of stuff thrown at you, and it just feels like a lot of stuff is out of my control at times, and it just my brain is constantly playing a game of catch up to deal with it all. And I know it's first world problems. I have a good job, I have a great girlfriend, I have great friends. I'm not complaining at all. I'm just at like this weird point in my life that I don't really know what's next. But after playing a short hike, it really like just made me reflect a lot about, you know, my experiences this past year. And it made me realize that all of like the career stuff, the job stuff, obviously, moving, you know, direction in life, really, like, it does matter, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Like, the main thing that you're going to remember in life is the people that you love and the experiences that you have with them. Like, in 10 years, I'm not going to remember a bad day at work or a shitty day personally, or just, I don't know, like a minor inconvenience. Like, I'm going to remember hanging out with my friends. I'm going to remember spending great times with my girlfriend. I'm going to remember living in this beautiful city, and I'm going to miss it because undoubtedly times will change. So like a short hike really made me realize that I need to hold on to these experiences and knowing that they matter. In 20 years, I won't remember a bad day at work or the stress of moving or just the uncertainty of being alone and being an adult. I'm going to remember like the experiences that I have made with my friends and family and the love that I have for them, all the same. So if you haven't done it like in a while, and I know because I'm a culprit as well, like tell your family that you love them, tell your friends that you love them and that you care about them. I just feel like that matters. Not trying to be too preachy or anything, but I really like this game, and I really just wanted to make a video about it. This whole video thing is really new to me, and I think that I want to keep doing it. Although I started this like in January, and I only am finishing it now. Right now it's June 24th. Like, I think now that this one is out, I will actually start to make more quality stuff. But yeah, I'm excited about it. I really just want to make videos and make content about things that I care about. And I don't really care if it does well or does not well. Like, I just think that sharing my experience is valuable and just getting my creative input out there. I think I'm going to continue to make videos about video games and other forms of media that I really like because I really enjoy doing it, and I hope you guys enjoy it as well. And I mean, you know, who doesn't love a good creative outlet? So yeah, thank you so mutt for watching my video, and I hope you tune in next time. Please follow me on Twitter and Twitch at DakJohn and at JackalupYT. Please, thank you.